Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Well, it's late. It's 3:15 a.m. and I am sitting in the Meyer parking lot because I'm having a problem posting my videos. YouTube is not allowing me to post my videos. I don't know why. People are having problems all over. I was just reading like the YouTuber thing on Twitter, and apparently people are having problems with all kinds of stuff. So I don't know what it is, but it's on 3 different of my channels. So it's apparently YouTube across the board. It's not just one thing. It's not just a video, and the vlog is one of them. So I know that if you're watching this, I want to apologize for posting my video from yesterday so late. I posted it like probably 12 hours late or even later. It just won't let me post it. And at first I thought it was like because I couldn't put ads in it. And so I tried to post it anyway without ads. I was like, you know, whatever, screw it, I'll just post a video anyway, but it won't let me post it. So I don't know why. It'll let me put a thumbnail in it because on my Peter Monn channel, it allowed me to put a thumbnail in it, but it won't do anything else. So I'm currently waiting to talk to YouTube support. I am 5th in line on the chat. So I thought I would just sit here and wait, I guess, until I can talk to them. I'm not really sure what they're gonna be able to tell me, but anyway, I'm 5th in line. So that's what I am doing right now. Which, I mean, in a weird way, it's like, okay, first of all, I haven't really posted a whole lot of videos for 2 days. But tomorrow, I have to get up, and I have like a sobriety thing that I'm doing all day. So, that's tomorrow, and so then I can post the videos tomorrow. And then, because I don't know that I'm gonna be able, if I'm able to make videos tomorrow, it won't be, well, obviously my vlog I'll be able to make. But if, I make videos tomorrow, it probably won't be till late in the day. So, at least I don't have to worry about that. And then I can, you know, focus on the sobriety stuff that I'm doing tomorrow, which I'm excited about too. So, I'm getting to spend some time tomorrow with some people that are really important to me. And, so yeah, it's been a good day today. Let's see, I got up and it was hot. It's been hot the last 2 days in Indianapolis. I took the dogs outside. If I start looking at this and it's gonna be like I'm gonna be here forever, then I'm probably gonna start driving around a little bit until I guess I could just probably do that right now. And then when it comes up that I'm gonna be the next in line, I'll just pull in somewhere. I got up today. I'm trying to think back on my day. God, it's been such a long day. I got up today. It's still warm outside. It's 72, but it feels really, really warm. Got up today and went and got my coffee. I have my cup right here. My Arizona cup that Frank got me. Thank you, Frank. Yeah, I'm still 5th in line. So I got up and I got my coffee, and then I went and I reviewed the Dunkin' Donuts Cosmic Culotta. And then, what did I do after that? Oh, you know what I did not do today? Was I did not go to the post office, which I need to do. So we can go run to the post office here in a second. I'll go down here and then come back and then go to the post office, and hopefully by that time they'll be ready to chat with me. I ran a few errands that I had to do. I talked a bunch on the phone today to people, and did that. Talked to Tanya for a long time today on the phone. Alex has a friend of his that he used to work with, and now she lives like in southern, like close to Louisville. And so she comes up here for work like one day every other week. And so now I'm 3rd in line. So he went out and had dinner with her tonight. They went to this restaurant in Indianapolis called Cooper's Hawk. I don't think have I ever been there? I don't know that I've ever been there. It's like a wine place. It's like a really nice dinner place, but it's like known for their wine and stuff like that. And I was gonna do a live stream tonight, and I also had this sober thing I had to do early this evening from like 5 to 7, and 5 to 6, but it went to like 7-ish. And then I was going to do a live stream, but then I just got into making videos and getting my videos done when I got home. And then it was like, I started having all these problems with this. And then at the time, like right when I started trying to publish them on YouTube and they wouldn't go up, like Alex came home. And so I hung out and talked to him, and we hung out in bed with the dogs. He was watching Flipping X's on Bravo. And I was talking to him, and the dogs were being super cute and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a good day. It was just a really relaxing day, and I'm like really having a hard time figuring out this camera, my new camera that he got me. So I said, can you please sit down with me this weekend and figure out how to like attach it in the car? Like, I don't really understand a lot of this. And like, when I talk about not being technological, you guys, like, I'm really not technological. And I honestly, like, I'm just like, if somebody shows me how to do something one time, I can always do it after that. But I'm just not really good with figuring out like instructions and stuff like that at first. So he said, yeah, he would sit down and help me with it this weekend. He's off all weekend, so he can help me with that. That was about it. Talked to Mel. Hey, Mel! And we figured out what books we're gonna read for the rest of the year. Oh my God, are you so exciting? She so excited. She finally figured out what book she wants to finish. She wants to read for her birthday month, which is next month. So she picked the book, and guess what? Oh, and then we picked our November book. What did we end up picking? Oh, I just remembered. We picked our November and December book. So we've got it tied up for the rest of the year. Unless something new would come out that we had to read, we have the rest of the year figured out what we're gonna read, which is kind of exciting. Oh, I'm first in line. Just in time to pull up into the post office. So, I finished my book last night. Can you even believe it? I finished it. And I have to tell you guys, the last, like, third of the book was so good. Like, it was so incredibly good. And not what you expected at all. Oh, they're up, there they are in the chat. They're like, hi, Peter. And it's not what you expected at all. It was so good. So lock every door. The first half is really, really slow, but after that, I mean, it is not what you expect. It is not what you expect at all. It is so good. And so yeah, I would highly recommend that. I will talk a little bit more about it when I come back. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna do a whole review on my book review channel tomorrow, but I'll be back, well, tomorrow or the next day. I'll be back. I'm gonna chat with them. Okay, hold on. Okay, so that was a complete waste of my time. It took 18 minutes for me to find out that they're already aware that there is a problem. And the guy that I chatted with was really nice, but he was like, yeah, we're aware of the problem. And then he was like, I'm gonna email you, and then can you screenshot it, what it looks like on your end? But apparently it's happening to a lot of people, so. Thanks for reaching out to us, and have a great day. You too. Have you ever gotten real fired up with customer service? I have. But you know what I've realized is there's really, hold on, did he message me again? Oh, he said bye. I said you too, and he said bye. Have a great day. I've realized there just really is no point. You know what I mean? Like, there just really is no point to get like real heated up with it. It's like, in all honesty, and do you know what is so funny here? I'm gonna try again to see if I can get my vlog up, if it'll let me post it. Saving change, nope, error, updating video, it says. I'm sorry, you guys. Some of you out there are like, well, now we have 2 long vlogs to watch in a row. This shirt is like, I need to get a new shirt on today. But anyway, what was I gonna say? I remember this one time talking to this woman in the cable company, and this is, I think, when it changed for me. Now, when I'm sure I will do a rant video at some time talking about customer service, and if you don't know by now, what you don't know is a lot. The rants that I do are humor based on how I really feel about things, but they're humor. I know people take them seriously and they think I really do get that revved up, but no, that's not really how it is. They're meant to be humorous. So anyway, what was was I gonna say? The rants, I always, like, and when you go into your videos, you can, like, figure out, you can describe them as people and blogs, how-to, entertainment, or whatever. And, like, one of them that you can pick is comedy. And so I picked comedy. Well, I was, like, looking at Social Blade, because Social Blade is this thing where it tells you your rank and whatever. Social Blade, like, has you ranked by all these things, and it has me ranked by comedy, and I'm like, on YouTube, I'm like 3,000 and something comedy, and I'm like, that is hilarious that I am so highly ranked on YouTube for comedy. I'm so honored, because what happens is I'll like move a rant to comedy. I'll change it from like people in blogs, or I usually do like my drama videos as entertainment, because they are. That's what they're meant to be, you know? They're not how-tos or anything, but anyway, and there's only so many things you can pick from. It's not like you can pick, you know, like opinions or something like that. But anyway, I'm not talking about the playlist. I'm talking about like how you identify on YouTube. And so, like, sometimes I will forget to change it back over, so I'll leave it on comedy for like, whatever. Anyway, so I can't post my videos. What was I gonna say? Oh, customer service. I was clarifying that so that when I come out and I do a rant video about customer service and people are like, but you said in your vlog, I think there's some people out there that could use a good dose of sense of humor. That's what I think. But anyway, I was talking to this cable woman one night on the phone. I don't know what happened. Like, our cable went down. You know, it always happens when you're, like, real excited to watch something like the premiere of American Horror Story or something. You know what I mean? Or, like, a pageant. Like, for me, it's always when, like, there's a pageant happening. I know for other people, it's probably, like, Monday Night Football, right? But for me, it's a pageant. So, one night I was real excited to watch something. I can't remember what it was. Alex and I were both getting real excited to watch it. And our cable goes out. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm talking to this woman on the phone. She was so hilarious. And so I'm like, and I'm getting real feisty, right? And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And she's like, so she would keep on sending a signal to the box. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And then I would have to like restart the whole thing. Well, the whole process takes like 15 minutes. Turn it all off, unplug it for 30 seconds, do all that kind of stuff, then plug it back in, and she sends a signal to the box and it has to upload and you see if it works. Well, it wasn't working. It just wasn't, there was nothing right about it, right? And I got real feisty, okay? Like, not my proudest moment. And I was like, I want to tell you something, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of went off for a minute. And she let me say my piece. And she said, sweetie, can I tell you something? And I said, yeah. And this was like in the winter time. She said, I'm sitting in upstate New York, almost near Canada, in an office during the middle of a blizzard. She said, if I could get on the phone right now and call a service technician to come to your house, trust me, I would. And I think you have every right to be pissed. And I would want to watch whatever it was, like a pageant. She's like, I would want to watch this pageant too. She said, unfortunately, I'm sitting in a cubicle in upstate New York in the middle of a blizzard near Canada, and there's not a whole lot I can do. So you can scream at me. She was like, but that's not going to help the situation get fixed any faster. And she was like, but let's see what we can do to get this fixed as fast as possible. She was so calm and nice about the whole thing. And, you know, and this is like a lot of what I talk about with like having peace and serenity in your life. I mean, I felt like such a buffoon in that moment. And I was like, I am so sorry. I said, you did not deserve for me to speak to you that way. She was like, it's fine. She was like, trust me, you're not the first one and you didn't even talk to me that badly. She was like, people cuss me out and hang up and call back and I get the same person on the phone and stuff. She goes, but you know, she goes, I understand that you're frustrated. She goes, but there's only so much that I can do from where I'm at, you know? And I don't know, and I've had a lot of friends of mine that have worked at call centers and, you know, in customer service, and they, like, just are, like, on a daily basis, they're just chewed apart, you know, and people are so nasty and call them the worst names. I mean, I've had some of my friends called some horrific names, you know? And, so, and told by their supervisors that they have to take it, you know? Like, you cannot hang up on these people, whatever. So, I don't know. I think it's it changed my opinion. It changed how I, you know. So now when I call somebody, I realize that they're only limited in what they can do, and I don't expect a whole lot. My expectations are lower than that now, you know. I don't have super huge expectations like, oh, they're gonna fix it all from right there. And I think like that day, she's like, the best I can do is get somebody out. And it was like literally like 3 days later. And I was like, I have to be without cable for 3 days. Okay, let's just be for real. First world problems, right? It's just not that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, I mean, if that's the best that you can do, you know. I think I even like called and like said something about what a great customer service person she was. It totally changed my opinion, you know, and it made me look at customer service in a completely different way. Okay, you guys, my battery died, and then I started vlogging again, and then my friend called and he had to talk to me, and I was like, okay, so we're just gonna start over. But anyway, I went back and looked, and I was talking about learning about the customer service thing, you know, about when I talked to the cable company. It's been a while. I've been on the phone for a while, you guys. So I was like, what was I even talking about? So I had to go back and look. You know, I think the thing is too, is that we become so accustomed. And I think this is something that I've realized lately is, the shirt is not doing me any favors tonight. I think that I have realized that, like, well, I guess I should only speak of myself. But from my experience, I become so accustomed to, you know, a comfortable world. Not even, I would say, like, the nicest luxury things or the nicest this or the nicest that, right? But it's like, you know, okay, like, when you're going on a trip and you're like, whatever. Like, I'll tell you, first of all, if you travel a lot, just so you know, and you aren't TSA approved or have that clear, that was the best money that I paid for. I'm gonna tell you right now. Alex and I both have it. And that TSA approval thing, I mean, we zip right through the line. That is the best. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like literally you pay like $85 and it's good for 5 years or something like that. And they approve it real quick. Like, I thought it was gonna take like 6 weeks, and it took like less than a week. I couldn't believe, well, I talked about it on here, I think, whenever I got it, so I don't remember how long it took, but it was like a week or 10 days or 6 days or so. It was real short. But you know, like when you're waiting in the line and you're on a trip, right? And you're excited about your trip, and you're gonna be on a beach by noon, no matter what happens, right? And you're in that long line at the airport to go through, like, you know, security, and it's like, this line is so long, you know? Or, you know, like in fast food. I do this all the time. Like, you know, when I'm like going through to get a Diet Coke, which I would die for right now. You know, it's like, oh my God, what is wrong with this line? Why is this line so long? You know what I mean? It's like we live in such a comfortable world that we want things when we want them fast, we want them now, we want it to be on our terms, and we don't realize, like, okay, we have money to buy food or a Diet Coke, right? Like, we're able to take a trip. Like, there were times in my life, and I guess I forget it sometimes, that, like, I struggled. Like, I wasn't buying fast food. That was expensive to me, you know? And I definitely wasn't taking any trips. You know what I mean? And so, and that's something that Alex and I talk about a lot, is, you know, how grateful we are for what we have today, you know? And he and I really struggled, like, the first, you know, year or two in our relationship, you know, with, like, the things that we could have or do or whatever. And we had a lot of friends of ours that had a lot more money than we did, and were able to travel and had condos and flew here and flew there, and we just couldn't, you know? And they'd invite us on stuff. There were, like, weddings that we couldn't go to, because they'd be like, you know, we would get invited to a wedding, like, in Dominican Republic or something, and we financially couldn't do it, you know? And it was tough. It was hard. And then I look at that and I think, you know, like, feel like that we couldn't do that. Well, okay, what a blessing that you would even be able to consider doing that, you know? And then I look at my life today, and this commercial came on TV today. Those commercials wreck me, first of all. I almost started crying. I don't know why, but it was about this kid in Africa, and how Like, and it was like one of those, send money in and it feeds them for a month and all that kind of stuff, you know. I don't know why today, seeing that ad, I don't know, it's like sometimes I feel so full of joy and full of gratitude and blessings that I really, that I am just like overwhelmed with emotion and gratitude for my life. And I'm watching this commercial, and it's not a fake, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, we watch those commercials, or like the Sarah McLachlan with the dog, but you know, like, I'll talk about that in a second, but like, I'm watching this commercial about this kid that's malnutrition, and, you know, we should send in money, and how much money you could send feeds him for, you know, a month or whatever. And it's like this commercial, and he's like 2 years old, and he looks like a toddler. He's so little, right? And it's like, okay, but like, it's a commercial on TV as I'm sitting there eating, watching this TV, it's called America Says, it's like Family Feud. But like, that's a reality. Like, that is somebody's life. Like, that is truly, truly their life. I'm going to talk about this as I drive through here and get a Diet Coke, because I'm dying for a Diet Coke. Blessings, right? That I can drive through McDonald's and just get a Diet Coke like that. And I'm watching this tonight, this commercial, and I just got like overwhelmed with emotion. And I was like, you know, but for the grace of God, you know, like, that could be me. You know, why is that not me? Because I was born to a different continent, to different parents. Like, who chooses that? You know, like, how does that all work? So, how dare I not be grateful for the things that I have? Yeah, can I get a large Diet Coke, please?
Yeah, for you.
Nope, that's it.
Well, no, it doesn't.
I don't think I have any cash. Oh, I do. I have $1. Just Tanya yesterday when we were going to our meeting, she was like, do you have any money? And I was like, yeah. I actually have dollars tonight for the meeting. $1.10. Here it is. How are you, sweetie? Thank you. Yeah, but those commercials really get me. I was getting my master's degree, and this one internship that I had, this one practicum, I had to go into some homes.
There you go. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Win $20,000 of the football experience. Scan. I don't want to scan. But I had to go into some homes. I remember, so I was paired up with this other girl, well, this girl. She and I were both students in this unit. And so we would have to go into these homes and do evaluations, which felt extremely intrusive anyway. And of course, you know, they didn't want us there. We had to be there because there were like referrals from the school system, you know. And we would go in these homes, and it just was like, I can remember going to my little apartment that I had at the time, right? You know, with my little kitchen and my little bar stools and my little bed that I would make every morning, and, you know, and make my little peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day. You know, peanut butter sandwich, I don't like jelly, but sometimes I do, but most often I don't. My little sack lunch that I would take with me every morning, you know, and I can just remember coming home from those home visits and like walking into my bedroom, and I was with my first boyfriend at the time, and we shared an apartment with my old roommate and friend. And I would walk in and she was down at one hall, you know, and we would have like those Bed Bath & Beyond, like, you know, things in the, what do you call it, in the plug things, you know, and be like pumpkin spice or something, and the carpet was always vacuumed, and, you know, with 2 little chairs on the patio, and everything was real nice, you know, and like the bed was always made, and I can remember like walking in there and just being like, feeling so grateful. And it was so sad because you could, you know, you would see like shame on these people's faces, and that they didn't choose necessarily to live like that. Like, they were like a product of what had happened to them over years and years and years. They're beaten down, you know? And I saw some horrific situations, you know? And it really changes you as a person when it's like, okay, I'm sure living in that changes you. And I have many friends of mine that grew up in just horrific situations, you know, and they're like, yeah, well, let me tell you what it's like when you live it, right? But when you go through that and you realize it's not just a scene in a movie, or it's not just a commercial that you see on TV, that this is reality that's out there, that for me, like, what it has done over time is it's made me just especially grateful and blessed for what I have, and to never once, you know, doubt those blessings as what they truly, truly are, as blessings, you know? And to never forget that really much of what makes up my life is really about the fact that I just happened to be born to a different mother at a different place at a different time. That, like, that's really legit. I mean, when you think about that, right? That, like, I could have been born here, I could have been born there, I could have been born in this time period, or this year, or I could have been born with this physical problem, or I could have been born with this genetic makeup, or I could have been born to these parents, or I could have been born, you know, here or there, right? So when you talk about entitlement and you talk about, you know, how we respond to the world, to me, on a level of humanity, is where we're all equal, because we're all born the same. I mean, how do you get to choose who you're born into? You don't, right? So, like, I don't know. I hardly ever use this lip gloss. I think many of us choose just to turn a blind eye to it. It's easier to not acknowledge it or not act like it exists than it does to actually have to realize, you know, that it's not just a commercial on TV, that every day there are kids, there are human beings, there are adults, there are people out there that are dying from malnutrition, and not just in Africa, but in our very own country. Down the street from where we live, people are dying of malnutrition every single day. And I don't, you know what, I don't think that that means that, like, we don't have nice things, or you can't have a Gucci purse if you want one, or you can't take a nice trip. Like, I think you should do all those things. And I don't mean think that it means you have to take half your money or three-fourths your money and donate it to all that thing. I don't think that means any of that. You don't have to donate 1 cent. You don't have to stop living a luxury life if you have it. Or if you don't have a luxury life, you don't have to stop buying your candles at Walmart like I like to do. Whatever, right? You know? I think it's about starting with awareness and just being aware that that exists and not living this life of being blind to what is going on in our world. I just like spilled this on my shirt or something. And not being blind to what is going on in this world. That it is just down the street. And then bringing that back into gratitude and blessings and being like, wow, like, I don't know. And if you're not a spiritual person, that probably doesn't mean anything. But for me, it's like, wow, like, okay. You know, that brings it back to that whole thing that I say with the woman in the Holocaust documentary, you know, why me? I am no different. I mean, I think it's pretty, you know, obvious to look at people like Paris Hilton and realize that she lives a pretty charmed life. Why Paris Hilton? Why did she get that life and somebody else didn't? And, you know, and I can sit here and I can be bitter about that, but, like, what's the point? I mean, it's not like it's going to change anything, right? But I do think that what it does is it levels us, you know? It makes us all equal. It's interesting because, like, I don't want to give this away, and I didn't really talk a whole lot about the book, Lock Every Door, but it is good. I mean, if you want to read a suspense novel, I can tell you, it's not what you think it is when you start it. It's just the first half of it is slow. That's it. But, like, the last half of it, the last third of it is just, like, high-paced. It's, like, unbelievable. But the last half of it is, or the first half of it is slow. But it talks a lot in there about that, you know, that idea of someone being better than somebody else. You know, this idea that so-and-so's better than so-and-so, you know, and I don't want to get into too much. I don't want to, like, ruin it for anybody that wants to read the book, because it is a good book, but... And my good Judy Tanya is constantly ruining books for me, so... I'm saying that kind of in joking and kind of in all honesty too, but she knows that I'm like, Tanya, you just told me the whole book. She's like, oh, you weren't going to read it anyway. I'm like, yes, I was going to read it. So anyway, but I don't know. I think it's just being aware of it, you know, and then acting accordingly. And I don't know, maybe just on a daily basis, remembering just a little bit more of what goes on out there and being a little bit more considerate, a little bit more thankful, a little bit more blessed. You know, when you're sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner with your family or Christmas dinner, you know, being thankful. I mean, read my comments and see how many people say, I have no family, I have no friends, okay? Let's take this, you want to talk about malnutrition, let's talk about social malnutrition. People that have literally nobody in their lives. Nobody. Okay, so when we're sitting this year at Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner or whatever dinner that we're sitting at, you know, whatever holidays you celebrate, and we're sitting there and we're enjoying these huge dinners and people are laughing and we're bitching and moaning because so-and-so's here and she drives me crazy and I don't want to have to deal with her. Let's be thankful for that, you know? There are people out there that have nobody. You know, my family's not big on holidays. They just aren't. And they were when I was younger. But, like, my dad, he and my stepmom, like, they just don't do a whole lot for holidays. And if they do stuff with her family, which is rare that they do that. Like, my dad just, like, they like to just stay at home. Like, they're kind of, like, they just don't like to do a whole lot. And they love just being at their house, you know, with the dog and stuff like that. So, you know, it was Caroline and I, and then my aunt and uncle and my mom, and like, that was what it was, you know, forever. And then my mom passed, and then my aunt passed, and my uncle passed. And now it's just Caroline and I, you know, and it's small. And she still does stuff because she wants to, but I think if it were up to Caroline, she'd travel every major holiday. She'd never be home, you know, which I totally understand, and I relate to that. I'm extremely grateful for Alex's family and for them welcoming me in and making me part of that, because if it wasn't for them, I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, I would be that. I mean, Tanya would never let me be alone, but Tanya, like, goes to her hometown for, like, Christmas. Like, she wouldn't be here, right? And and even if she said, come with me to my home, with my family, I probably wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I would do. I mean, I honestly, I just don't know. I mean, my dad and my stepmom would never let me be alone. Caroline would never let me be alone, you know, like that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I understand where people feel like they're a burden on other people, because I think there would be a part of me that would feel that way. So it's not just being grateful about the condition of your survival. It's also being grateful for having friends, for having people, for being able to have, you know, a meal, a Thanksgiving meal, or to, you know, afford it, or to sit down and eat the food, you know, or whatever. It's just all of it to me. I don't know. My life has really changed. I have to say, the one thing, like, that I've always practiced, but in the last year specifically, like, has really changed for me is this focus on gratitude. I mean, it really has, like, it just, like, emanates in everything is the word I'm looking for. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but it seethes. Is that the word I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for either. It pulsates. It does, though. I mean, it's literally in everything that I think about. Like, throughout the day, I'm constantly like, you know, if I get a little upset or frustrated with something, I'm like, okay, but yes, this. And then I'm thankful for this. That card just kind of almost like came real close to me. And then gratitude grounds me again, you know? Or I get moved and overcome by joy of blessings that I have in my life. And I just think that, I don't know, you know, it's like, it's weird in the last couple days, you know, that I've been having conversations with people. It's like, I'm not a religious person. People know that. I'm a spiritual person, and I do have a higher power and a faith in a higher power, and that's just my personal to me. You know, you don't have to believe that. And I respect people for whatever their belief or non-belief systems is, right, or are. But, it seems to me like in the last 24 to 48 hours, I've said a lot to people, like, have you tried praying on it and letting go? Or, you know, like, do you have a higher power? Yes. Well, what do you think your higher power has planned for you? Like, what is there a plan in this? Like, what do you think it is? And do you think God wants you to be practicing gratitude? You know, and it's like, I don't know. I feel real spiritually centered right now in my life. And I have to say, at the times that I felt the most disconnected was when I had no spiritual foundation. And when I had no spiritual foundation were the times that I wasn't practicing gratitude in my life, period. End of story, you know? And, like, I look at that and I'm like, okay, so is the way to spiritual foundation having gratitude? Like, is that where it starts for me? Like, is that the action that has to happen to get me there? I don't know. Maybe that is what it is, you know? I don't know. It's late. It is late, and I'm going to end this vlog. I could talk about blessings and gratitude all day long, but I am. You know, I feel real blessed for my life, and I have a blessed life. I have a life beyond my wildest dreams, you know? And that doesn't mean that every moment of my life is perfection and, you know, fantasy. It just isn't. And it's not fantastic and amazing every second, but it's pretty damn good, you know? It's pretty damn good. And you guys are a part of that for watching my vlog. You make my day every single day. And thank you for that. I'm going to get off here now because I'm going to be uploading two vlogs literally back to back. So I apologize for that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing, what is tomorrow? Well, this will be my Thursday vlog, right? Yeah, I hope you're having an amazing Thursday unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Don't. Be grateful for what you have, be blessed, and make the most of today. You're trading a day of your life for it. Seriously, you are. And I need to read that poem again that today is the day. Anyway, I'll find it and do another. I've done it on Peterisms. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and make sure that you look in the mirror every single day and say to yourself, I love you. You are fantastic, you're fantastic just how you are. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.